I want to teach you guys a couple of the basics that worked for me throughout my career. Number one, if you can't see the ball, you can't play cricket. So what worked for me was to keep my eyes parallel to the ground. Never get the head tilted off to the offside or to the side, to the leg side. Keep the eyes nice and level, and then that moves me to point number two. Let the ball come into your space. I always talk about the box theory. If you don't play the ball in your space, you lose all control, and more importantly, you lose all power. Last but not least, my right foot. I wanted to keep my right foot flat for as long as possible through the shot, and I see too many youngsters get onto that right toe, and that's where they lose control. You call it a square up, and that's where you nick off to guys like Dale Steyn and Vern Philander. You don't want to be doing that. Let me introduce you guys to the SA20 Schools kids. Three from Large School Garsfontein, and we have this beautiful young lady. Let's start with you. What is your name?
My name is Lesedi.
And what school do you attend?
It's a club, Soshanguve.
Soshanguve, I know that area very well. What do you do in cricket? Are you all-rounder or just a batsman or bowler?
I'm an all-rounder.
Alrighty. An all-rounder here, guys. Very talented, up-and-coming youngster. What do you want to work on with your cricket? Do you have a question for me?
Yeah, I need a solution of if I can't play a spin. So
spin bowling. I also struggle with that, so don't worry. No need to panic. Spin bowling is not easy. The number one thing that people do wrong when it comes to spin bowling is play too early. You've got to be patient. Let the ball come into your area. Very similar with seam bowling as well. Generally, what youngsters do is they tend to leave that box with spinners because it takes ages for the ball to arrive. No need for a lot of foot movement. Think of someone like a Virender Sehwag over the years. He almost just stood still. His eyes were level with the ground and he played it in his box. Alrighty, I hope that helps. Second.
It was to read. And then my question for you, AB, is like, let's say you're in a high pressure situation and you need to score some runs. What is your go-to shot to get out of that pressure?
Eckhart, thanks for that. Pressure situations, guys, it's never comfortable, it's never easy, especially in T20 cricket. You don't have a lot of time. You don't have time always to bat yourself in. But it comes down to the basics once again. You got to see the ball. 3 deep breaths in between balls, and then it's just you and the cricket ball. Do not get too involved with the situation, the adrenaline, the nerves, the chirps from the opposition. The minute that bowler turns, it's just you seeing that cricket ball, keeping that eyes level and letting it come into your space, keeping that right foot flat for as long as possible. I'm really sorry to repeat myself, but I hope you guys take that into your cricket. Let's move on to another Large School Garsfontein youngster here.
I'm Zander Venter, and my question to you is, when do you decide to play the scoop shot or the reverse scoop shot? Is it when the bowler's bowling, or you have the thought in mind already?
That's a very good question. Thank you very much. It's a tricky question because throughout my career, sometimes I premeditated that shot, sometimes it sort of came naturally. But 9 out of 10 times, it is a premeditational shot where you read the situation of the game and you try and expose the bowler in a certain area. The 45 perhaps comes up, maybe even the deep square comes up. So now there's an area of weakness for him. But remember, he knows that. So he's going to try for me not to expose him in that area. So it's important always for me, in this case, to move a little bit later than usual, but be very decisive with my movements. I liked to sort of pretend like I'm going to give myself room, but then go over to the offside, keep that eyes very parallel, and then let it come into my space. And this cricket shot, specifically this one, comes down to huge commitment. You have to commit, you have to have your head on the ball, not fall over, stay on it for as long as possible, and it's a flick of the wrist to get it over to 45. Do not stagnate there. Do not freeze and just keep the bat there. You have to have an action and a flick of the wrist to really help it along and get those big hits over the fine leg boundary for 6. Thank you very much for that. Last but not least, the youngster. What's your name?
Caleb Loubser.
Caleb, what question do you have?
My vraag is power eating.
Krag slaan houe. Power eating. Thank you very much, Caleb. A lot of youngsters want to know that. It's quite funny. Caleb, very, very simple. It's got to happen in the space. The minute you leave your body, the ball's going to go straight up in the air. You'll have no control and 0 power. So very similar basics, but what I can add to that is to stay square for as long as possible. When you're looking for power, you open up. You see a lot of players get out like that. I watched Faf du Plessis the other night get out to Grabada like that, where you open up a little bit too soon and that ball flew off to the sweeper boundary. He got caught by a great catch from Devil Brevitz. So all the basics still in place, guys. Eyes parallel, foot flat, let it come into your box and keep this shoulder and this chin attached for as long as possible before you release in this area, and boom. You don't have to overheat, all the power is right here. You'll get some big hits. To the SA20 schools kids, thank you very much. All the best with your future. And to all the viewers out there, I hope you enjoyed today's batting masterclass.